Hi guys, it's Amy at Zoe Beck, and I'm going to do my weekly reading update for, what is today? January 19th, 2020. Man, the sun is coming in really odd through my windows, and I usually film at this time, so I don't know if it's just the whole season change, well, not season change, but you know how it changes during the year? I don't know. So it's a little bright, so sorry about that. Anyway, so this reading week was really weird for me. Work was really busy, so whenever that happens, a lot of times I don't get any reading done. Like, I barely get reading done at my job. I don't know if a lot of people else have this. Well, we have a lunchroom, so I don't eat at my desk because the microwave isn't there and everything, but I want to get away from my desk for at least the half hour that I get for lunch. And so I step away and go into the lunchroom, which everybody goes in and out of. And I swear, every lunch period, even though I'm there with my book and I'm eating, people are talking to me about work. And I know they say, well, you should go eat in your car so that nobody can find you. But I have a half hour. I don't want to spend the time walking out. We have to walk out, out the building and then down a hill to our cars. And I'm like, we're not like a huge hill. I just meant like, it's like here's where the building is. And then there's like a couple of steps, like a ladder-ish. Well, I would say about 12, 14 steps down. And then we have a parking lot down here. But I'd have to walk out with my food, which I probably just microwaved out in the cold, to my car. Anyway, I don't want to eat in my car. And I don't want to eat in my car is pretty much the whole point to this thing. And I don't find that comforting or comfortable. So yes, I eat in the lunchroom. And I never get enough read because I'm getting interrupted all the time. And I have people asking me what I'm reading. I'm just like, I read all the time. You guys just, anyway, so I didn't get a lot read at work at all this week. Like, I got a couple pages like every day, but not a whole bunch. And so, but I had a really weird thing when I get home this whole last week. I would come home and could not read for the first 2 hours I was home. And I don't know if it was just I was unsettled, like because work was so much. And again, I do a lot of it's mostly computer work, paperwork and stuff. I mean, I interact with people, and I'm staring at my computer all the time. So when I get home, I turn on my TV and watch BookTube or television, and then I look at my phone, like doing social media. So this week was really bad about that. So this next week, I might not be any active. I'm not super active on my social media stuff, which I do have down below. I don't have it linked, but I have the names anyway. But I might not be very active because I'm looking at it too much. And this last week was I just couldn't stop myself. And so I didn't read very much except really late, right before bed. And it was like, I would get really into it and I had to go to bed. Anyway, so my numbers for this week are probably the lowest I've had in quite a while. Which was kind of like, I'm reading some really great books and I couldn't start myself reading every night. And it was just a freaking hassle. Anyway, so what we're going to do here is we're going to go through, I do want to make one other note. I did not go to Pals yesterday. My dad canceled because my mom got the flu this week, which is understandable. They both are, he didn't get it anywhere near as bad as she did, but they didn't think it'd be good to come up. And so we didn't go to Pals, and so I'm depressed because I was all excited. I had my list started of books I wanted to go find. Yeah, it didn't happen. So, but I'm really proud of myself that I didn't go out and buy books this weekend because I really wanted to, because since I had this, I was going to go buy books. And as much as the money was not going to be, like, it wasn't going to count for my budget for books because it's all Christmas money, I wanted to go buy books. And I almost went to the other Pals location that's close to me because I was out for my writers group last night. And I came really close, but I did not go because actually I have 2 bags of books that I want to take back to try to sell. So I'm going to try to do that this week. And if I feel the urge that I have to buy something because I didn't get to buy something this week, then I can use credit that I get whatever books I turn in. And anyway, that's part so that I'll turn those in, and then I can take all my books to the books that they don't take. I have and I have another box and a half of books that I want to donate to my library. So I'll get to do all that. Hopefully I'll clean that all out of my house, which will be great because, again, I've had the books sitting around for a while, and these books I want to try to sell and get credit, and I have books I want to buy. Anyway, needs to say, I didn't get to go buying books, but I might get some books this week. Again, I will only get to use credit or my Christmas money. So, and then my dad says we're gonna maybe try for this next Saturday So maybe I'll get to go on Saturday. We'll see. I was really sad when they called me and said they couldn't come up. I was like, but anyway, I'll hold out. I did good. I made it through this weekend. I mean, I'm not going to buy any books today because I'm not going out again, and I've already decided I'm not buying anything online until February. That's another little goal for myself. We'll see how that goes. Anyway, okay, sorry. I've rambled really a lot. That was a little update. Sorry. Of my life with books. Anyway, and other work stuff. Anyway, so now I'm going to talk about the books that I have finished, the ones I'm in the middle of, and then what I think I'm going to pick up later this week. I didn't finish any of my books, like reading books, because I'm in the middle of some read-alongs and buddy reads, and so it's not quite the... I didn't expect to finish anything, but I did read the manga I got from the library, and that is The Girl from the Other Side, and this is volume number 5 by Nagabi, I think is how it's said. And I think it's translated by Adrienne Beck. So I've read all these from the library. I have number 6 listed. I am like number 2 or 3 on the list, so it might be another month before I get it because there's only one copy. And this is what happened with this one, is I think I read the last one in November. Or maybe early December, and then it took this long to get number 5. So this just continues the story. It's talking about a little girl who has been abandoned outside of the walled city in another little village, and she is wanted by them for certain reasons because of why she was left behind. And then there are the others who are outside who are weird. But this one who she calls, I can write off the top of my head, it just went out of my head. She I can't remember what she calls him. Karasik has just blanked out of my head. But he's a kind of a different other, which he doesn't act like all the rest. And has to, it's just a very dark, you know, comic kind of just black and white kind of stuff. And because the characters are mostly in black, it's very different, I think, because most of the manga I read is not quite that dark. So, but overall, I'm really enjoying this still. So I'm waiting for, again, book number 6. I think there's 7 out. I don't remember if there was a 7th one. I know for sure there's 6. So anyway, I'm still enjoying it. I have no idea where it's going. They just, the end of this book, they do something that's like, oh, wow, that changes it. And I want to see how it goes. So again, this is just a good manga series. Again, it's not, I would not say it was one of the light and fluffy ones. This is definitely more darker themes, but I'm really enjoying that. So again, I just pick up manga and graphic novels as I'm interested in them, so it's kind of random. And again, I do not count those on my how many books I've finished, if that makes any sense to anybody. I don't count the graphic novels in that way. I count them as in how many did I read this month, but they're not in my totals. Just so you know. I know some people count everything, and I get it, but I don't track them on Goodreads. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. They're not on my Goodreads number. So the books that I'm in the middle of, I'm still reading London Belongs to Me by Norman Collins. I cannot tell you how weird I am finding this book, like, I did not expect. So this is a book written in 1945, and this follows people who live in a boarding house in South London starting in 1938 and going into 1939. So most of the book so far has been in 1939. And it's very interesting, the lead up to war being declared, and then we'll have to see what happens beyond that. But I did not know what to expect for this, and every time I read a section, I am buddy reading this with Shawn, the book Maniac, and we were both like just fascinated on where this story is going. And Norman Collins, I guess, has a TV background, or and stuff. So his scenes are very cinematic. They're very, you can just see them, and there's just comedic parts to them, but it's still heartbreaking because these people don't know what's going to happen in the future, of course, because we don't know. And it's, again, this lead up to war, but I'm not sure how far this book is going to go because we're still in the September of 1939. So it's very interesting because I don't know enough of that history time. So I'm like Googling things, Shawn's Googling things, and I'm like checking all this stuff out. It's very fascinating and very interesting. And I would say the section I just read the end of this week, there was a couple points where I was a little mad at my characters for what they did, but I know that there's reasons for this. I just don't know where it's, what's going to happen. And it has like some genre bending things. There is like someone who kind of goes into a criminal aspect, and so there's stuff with that, and later there's a trial. There's mock parliament for people who are thinking what they would do, with the government. And I don't know, I'm not explaining this all, but I am finding this book fascinating. Again, it is 734 pages, I think. It is, well, I think the book, it's about that, 25 pages. So it's a long haul, but I'm so enjoying this, and we're closing in. So, we were 467 right now. So I'm getting there. So again, this book we're going to read it all the way through the month. So I think we're on track for that. Really enjoying this. It's a book I would never picked up if he hadn't mentioned it from reading, it was the Book of the Forgotten Authors, something by Christopher Fowler. And, very fascinating. And he's definitely, like, at least at this point, I think he has some other books, and I would pick them up because he writes really well, and his characters so clearly, and I could just, I'm really enjoying the read. And as I said, it's really, different for me to read a book for a couple of days, and then I set it down for a couple of days, and then I come back to it. So it's been kind of weird that way, but I dive right back into it when I start reading again. I do not have a problem picking it up. So I really, really am enjoying that book, and I'm curious to see where it goes. I won't finish by next week, of course, because the last section will be towards the end of the month. So, but I'll be closer. So we'll see what happens. We'll see how much I'm still liking it by then. I love it so far. So it's just fascinating. And then I'm also doing Cromwell-a-thon that Jason at Old Blue Sapphire Verse is doing. I'm ahead right now. I held to the schedule until yesterday. I had read up to the part we were supposed to read for today. Yesterday, I'm sorry. I read up to that, and then I just was like, I can't wait. So my goal is to try to finish this today. I don't know if that's going to happen, but I'm dreaming pie in the sky. I have 175 pages left of this, so it's very doable. I don't have anything going on today, so I could really get a lot of reading done. I don't know if I'm going to get 175 pages of this done, but we'll see. But again, Wolf Hall is the first book in the Thomas Cromwell trilogy by Hilary Mantel, and this again is another one where, again, it's really funny how many London books I'm reading. I've read a lot this month. It's been a month. Anyway, but like, this is when I will Google something because they'll say something, because I think if you know this history a little better than I do, you don't have to Google so much, but because I don't know all the characters and the people involved in the history that she's pulling for this historical fiction, but I have to Google to say what happened, who's that, and because there's so many names that are so alike, and I'm usually really good about remembering names, but just there are so many Thomases, I gotta tell you, I get confused. But overall, I'm really enjoying this historical fiction. Again, this is about the time period of Thomas Cromwell and Henry VIII, and when the whole point when he wants to annul his marriage so that he can marry Anne Boleyn. So again, I'm pretty far into it now. I'm almost to the point of what I'm supposed to read for Saturday, for this coming Saturday. But I'm probably gonna push through. I really want to finish this. This is another book I just dive into when I picked it up. It's easy to pick up. I think just this last week with reading had to do more with my work and stuff, because it wasn't the books. As soon as I picked the books up, I was fine, but I had to pick up the books, which was why I didn't get as much read as I was hoping. But again, I'm super enjoying this, because again, I love historical fiction that really is following what actually happened, and I like, there is some humor in here, and there's also like threads of you know, foreshadowing. You're not, I kind of want to know where it's going and how she puts it together. And I'm already looking forward to Bring Up the Bodies next month to continue. But again, I have 175 pages, so I'm probably going to, as I said, try to finish that out today. Just, I need to get my books to where I'm, you know, I don't have 2 giant books on the go. You know, well, I'll show you what I think I'm going to pick up after this. But the point is that I'm really enjoying this. I just want to finish it. And then I can, so then Monday I can pick up and read more pages and London Belongs to Me. But the point is, I'm really enjoying this. So recommend it right now. So, but we'll see. I want to finish it, but I just really want to dive in today and just read that book and hopefully finish it, because it's great. So, what I'm going to read into the next week, I did not pick up my audiobook all week either. Again, I think it was just, I had to take a week of not reading a whole lot to kind of recharge, I guess. I don't know. I didn't make that many pages in both those books, even though I want to read them. It's really weird. But I did not pick up my audiobook for The Man with the Golden Torque by Simon R. Green. Again, this is a reread for me. I read this back in, I don't know, what did I say, 2010 or... yeah, 2009, 2010. So it's been, you know, 10 years, and I want to, this is one of the ones that I want to make progress in the series, where I own, it's like a 12-book series right now, and I've only read the first book. And because I read it over like about 10 years ago, I don't remember, I mean, I remember certain scenes, but I don't remember a lot. So I want to listen to this because I got it on Audible at some point for some deal. So I've only made it like 34 pages. Not very much for a 400-page book, but I'm going to try to listen to this in my car this next week, because, as I said, I go through phases where I listen to an audiobook and then I take a week off and then I'll listen again. I just don't do it consistently, and I just can't. I like to listen to music in my car sometimes and not think. So, anyway, so I'm going to pick up this again as an urban fantasy. This is, again, another London one, so, or at least right now he's in London. And this is I would say definitely on the urban fantasy side. Like, he just took care of like, the first scene is about taking out a demon. Or, you know, yeah, a child was going to be born and the demon was waiting to possess the child's body and kind of stuff. And so it was a special hospital for those kind of cases, and he broke in and dispatched the demon. So, and his family, again, this is the Secret Histories series, but it's really the Drood series I think of, because his family is, he's a very extended family, is very powerful, and they have all the greatest tools, and I don't know. It's just a fun, yeah, urban fantasy. So, and again, Simon R. Green is one of my favorite authors. I have another one of his books actually from the library that just came in that I do want to read, but I'm waiting until near the end of the month. But I definitely want to get progress on this audiobook this week, and hopefully I will continue with it. I mean, again, it wasn't the audiobook's fault. It does have that strong accent, English accent on it, but to me I was getting into it. I just stopped listening to audiobooks. It's not its fault. Okay, and then what book I think I'm going to pick up after I finish Wolf Hall to read in between, when I'm not reading London Belongs to Me, I'm either going to pick up Tess of the D'Urbervilles by Thomas Hardy, which is, I belong to a classics reading group on Instagram, and they've all like read this and are already far away into it, and I set it aside because I had done Hard Times instead earlier, because I joined another Instagram reading group. Anyway, and read ahead on that one and finished it because I had too many books on the go. So I had set this aside. I only read one chapter. I'm not sure how I'm going to get along with this one, but I'm going to try. I've never read any Thomas Hardy except for the first chapter of Far from the Madding Crowd. So I've done the same thing on both of these, just read a chapter and then something happens. So I do want to try to get to this. If not this week, it'll be next week. But we'll see. It's only 400 and a little over 450 pages. So it's not like it's not doable by the end of the month, even with reading London Belongs to Me. But I'm not sure this is the next book I'll pick up because, you know, I do have a shorter book that I might pick up, and that is Snow Country by Yasun Niara Kawabata. This is a Japanese classic, modern classic. I was Looks like it was published in 1957. Oh, I can't remember if that was our... Well, the Japanese might be, it might be older than that. I can't remember. But this is, oh, sorry, translated by Edward G. Sidensticker. Anyway, so this is one of the oldest books on my TBR. I have a stack of stuff I want to get through this year. This is the first one on that I was going to pick up. So it's not very long. It's like 175, I think. Yeah. So I might slip this in first and then Tess, or I might do Tess and then slip this at the end of the... I don't know not anything really about this. Again, I've had this book on my shelf for 20 years. This is over 20 years. Anyway, about a geisha and some love affair. But I don't know. So I've heard mixed reviews here on BookTube. But again, I read a lot of Japanese fiction. That is one translated works that I read a lot of. I do want to read a lot of other countries this year, hopefully to do more, but I will still always read some Japanese stuff. I still own quite a bit that I need to read. But this is one of the oldest books on my shelf, and I picked the short one because this month I had so many big books that I was reading. So anyway, I'm hoping to pick that up, but I don't know which I'll pick up first. So we'll see how I feel after I finish Wolf Hall, and then I read my pages for the next section of London Belongs to Me. But I figure, you know, Wednesday on, I'll be reading one of these books. So that is it. Wow, this went a lot longer than I planned. I thought I'd have a short video because I didn't really finish anything, but I like to talk. Anyway, so how are your guys' reading going? Are you reading any really good books that I should know about? I am super enjoying my reading. I'm hoping this week I'll definitely read better and maybe not look so much at social media. I don't know. I felt this week I was very distracted when I got home. And again, it took me hours after I was home before I would even pick up the book. And I was waiting all day to get home and read. So I don't want to do that this week. This week I want to definitely pick up the books earlier in the night and then read more. And then maybe at the end of the night, like put it down to watch TV. I don't know. I have to figure out a way to do that. I'm not quite sure. So anyway, if you guys read anything good, let me know. And I will talk to you guys later. Bye.